Hey, CDAWG, let me make sure that I'm recording before I record this for too long. I wanted to look into replays here. Let me see. I wanted to look into these replays, the 3v3 ones, before I procrastinate any longer. I'm going to do this one, the 6-3 one here. Even though we won, I noticed that obviously we did this one for you, this 1v1 here, and you still took a lot away from it. And I don't want to wait to get another replay where we lose. Because I don't want to procrastinate this any longer. I want to get it out of the way. I was going to do this one, but I just felt like when I watched it, we were very off our game, and I remember Sam talking about how he wasn't even really trying that day, so we're not going to go over this one here. We're actually going to do this one in particular, the 6-3, because it's very close. It's the closest one, I feel like, other than this one, obviously, but these guys scored on us, so there must be something wrong. Anyway, but before we do that, I know that yours is going to take a lot less time. I'm going to fly through it pretty quickly, hopefully, but we will see. That remains to be seen because I like to talk. But I wanted to go over some things real quick. Here's my camera settings. Here are my control settings. Here are my interface settings, if you're curious what they are. But those are that. If you just are comfortable with what you have, man, please stick with what you have. Don't change it up. But if you're curious what I play with, again, here they are. Again, 130 nameplate scale, obviously, is because I want bigger nameplates so I can see people on the field. Anyway, if you want to try mine out, make sure to write down your settings, the important settings especially, before you try my settings, because if you forget, I can't remember for you, and you'll be very confused, and you won't be able to find those comfortable settings you were used to. But if you're curious, the only setting that I'd be hesitant on changing, and I would keep the same, would be this. Aerial sensitivity and steering sensitivity. I would just keep those the same because, to be honest, that might be a little much, but you could give it a shot. Anyway, next up, we're going to look over here into custom training. Let's go over to favorites. Here, all you have to do, if you want to download any of these training packs yourself or whatever, just click copy, go over here, enter code, paste, and it puts it right there. You click OK. Here are my favorites. Some of these I recommend. Some of these are going to be really hard. Some shots you're not going to be able to do and such. But give them all a shot. Don't do this one, though. This one's just a little too hard. But, yeah. Despite the fact that it doesn't show I've completed them, I have. I have completed them. But anyway. Here's saves. I'd recommend this one. This will teach you to do a lot of saves where you usually blank or say, how do I even save that? How do I even go up for that? This teaches you how to save them. So again, some of them might be too hard. If you're curious on any of these training packs, how do I do this efficiently? I'm getting the save or whatever, but I don't feel like I'm doing it efficiently, and you're curious about it, just send me, call me, share your screen or record it or whatever, and I'll look over it. But yeah, again, if you're curious about how to do any of these saves or shots or whatever, just show me the shot and I'll show you how to do it to the best of my ability. But anyway, this one I would absolutely recommend, the ultimate warm-up. I can't remember how hard this is. Obviously, it's a warm-up you want to do before games, but I think it's pretty good. This one, Diamond Defense. I don't know how hard this is. You can give it a shot. High aerials. This is for a lot of those situations you talk about where it's so high up, you just don't know what to do. I don't know how to go for it. And this is your training pack. Surprisingly difficult shots. Again, obviously this is going to be shots that are just, surprisingly difficult. They're going to be shots that look easy, but even, trip up the most mechanically inclined players. Aerial shots, passes. I give this a shot. Honestly, we need to introduce passing to our game because a lot of threes teams do passing, and we absolutely don't. We just do solo plays, and 3v3. We just don't take enough advantage of our teammates. And all we do is we try to do this thing where we take the ball around the sidewall into their corner, and then try to put it above their net, which hardly ever works. So we just need to learn to pass a little bit more. You can learn passing at any rank. We just need to have learned it by now. Learn position, where we position on the field and stuff like that. But anyway, we need to learn. You'll see with a lot of when people talk about who has the best offense in something like RLCS, like the Pro League. They usually talk about teams like G2 who have, who like basically only pass. They only do passing. You'll see that when you watch if you watch their gameplay, how much they pass. So we need to work on passing, and this is how you receive a pass and shoot it. That's a good training pack for that. This is more of a fun one, wall to air dribble. I like to do this sort of a lot. It says 3 shots, but I only do like the first 2 or I only do the first 2 really, or the first one. It just puts you in a situation where you take the ball rolls up the wall perfectly for you. You can go for an air dribble or a wall shot. It's just more of a fun one that you can try. Power shots shows you how to shoot a powerful shot on net, obviously. Kevpert aerial car control. Kevpert, a little backstory about him. I'll make it quick. Kevpert was basically, now there's tons of YouTubers that put out tutorials. He was the only tutorial YouTuber basically back in the day. He was the one, doing the studying into how mechanics worked and operated and how to do things efficiently. So he basically taught, the first players of the game, who wanted to learn how to play. I think he coaches a pro team now, actually, funny enough, but he doesn't post any videos on his channel, but he used to be, the big guy for that. Not anymore. He stopped, in like 2016 or 2017. But he taught me how to play. In fact, I learned a lot from him, but here's one of his training packs. You'll find it's very, very easy, but, again, it's just going to teach you some aerial car control and some easy shots. Dribble training. This is where you dribble it on top of your car. You're going to have to, because if you don't, then you'll run out of time. And the ball, if it hits the ground, it goes away. So this is how you can train dribbling it on top of your car. It's an easy setup in a game and on the actual map. So you go for that. Shots you shouldn't miss. This is going to be really hard. It's kind of like up here, surprisingly difficult shots by Waiting. It's kind of like that one, but a lot harder. So I don't know if you'll be able to do that. And then aerial shots redirect, ignore this one, because redirects are going to be really hard for you. That's where you're sitting in front of the net, their net basically, and you're redirecting the ball into their net. That's a little tricky. Another thing I would look into over here, custom training, workshop maps. These 3 in the bottom. Maybe try this one. I haven't completed it, so I don't know. Lethamir used to be a pro player, and then he started doing map making. So this is Leth's map. He completed, and he basically created a sequel to Rings 3, since DMC doesn't make maps anymore, I believe. But these 3 here are good. This speed jump boost teaches you good boost management. I don't know if you even be able to get past easy. It's hard. It's really hard. There's easy, medium, and hard modes, levels. And they're just really difficult. So I don't know if you'd be able to get past easy, but give it a shot. Dribble to overhaul, the same. I don't even know if you'd be able to get past level 2, but it teaches you how to dribble on the top of your car. And then speed jump rings, you know what that is. Those are just some fun things you can try. But yeah, other things. I've always seen that it's, I've learned a lot from watching pro gameplay, like in a lot of other esports, like League. I'm not sure how much you would take away from watching pro gameplay, but in this, I feel like it's pretty necessary just to see what the pros are doing, what the meta is, what decisions they're making, what mechanics they're using that in positions that you never thought about, what shots they're taking that you never even thought about shooting, and stuff like that. So here's some channels that I would recommend. Johnny Boy, if you're looking into 1v1s, this is your man. Johnny Boy began doing 1v1 show matches. He hosts them on his Twitch channel. He used to do them back in the day in like 2015, 2016. And there's never really been a 1v1 pro scene, right? There's only ever been like a 3v3 pro scene. This man has carried the 1v1 pro scene by himself. He's the viewers pitch money and these players 1v1 for the money. These are pro players. Some of them are just one's main, but some of them are pro players that you'll see, like Monkey Moon, who's on the best team in the world, 3v3 wise. But yeah. But anyway, yeah, this is what, if you're curious about how one's players play, he has hundreds. With these, I would keep it pretty recent. I wouldn't go too far away, although you could go pretty far back and still watch them, see how 1v1 has developed over time. But I keep it pretty recent. He also does 2v2 replay casting. So this is where you're also going to watch your 2v2 stuff. He's not going to give tips or anything. He's just casting, and it's an easy place to find pro level 1v1 consistently. He also does 3v3. He just looks over 3v3 stuff as well. He's just casting. He's a professional caster. He casts for RLCS. and everything, but he basically carries the one scene. So if you're ever curious in watching recent 1v1, he casts these matches. You can even turn him off if you don't want to listen to him, but he sometimes brings out helpful pointers and stuff like that, helpful tips, why they're doing what they're doing and stuff. But anyway, this is a great place if you're curious on 1v1 decision making at the pro level. That's that. Also Forky's series. Forky, who I was talking, not Forky, Flakes. Forky is another player, by the way. Flakes. Flakes. Looks like this. Anyway, Rocket League VODs. This guy is not an official channel. Obviously, it doesn't look like an official channel, but he posts every single 3v3 replay by the pro level wise. He posts every single 3v3 replay that ever happens, the entire series as well. So 57 minutes. This is full series. Like this is like it went to game 7 probably or whatever. But you can watch these. Just see how the pros make decisions at the 3v3 level. Here for Johnny, 1v2, 1v1 and 2v2. For here, 3v3 replays are all here. You can watch them. Again, keep them pretty recent. I wouldn't watch too far back because the meta changes. I would watch. You can watch anything in the past year or so, but after that, before that, I wouldn't. But just try to keep it pretty recent. You can keep it pretty recent. Another thing is, I want to talk about before we go into this too. We didn't go in. Before I can't speak. Before we go into too much more, right? There are positions in Rocket League, right? Like we have rotations. First man goes up. Second man he sits behind him, and the third man is back here. And the first guy challenges, second guy comes behind, tries to shoot a shot, or he becomes first man and tries to set up a shot. Third man comes the second man. Obviously, rotations are never as fluid as that, but that's the basics of rotation. There are also obviously positions, although they're very loose because obviously, as we talked about, first man's obviously going to rotate around or become third or second man, so that we play all positions, right? But obviously we talk about this guy is a third man or this guy is a second man. Like he is the second man or he is the third man, right? Not just position wise. Like for example, their third man could be in a first man position, right? What we're talking about when we say he's a third man, and they use this term a lot in like the pro level because they've always said, they've always talked about, well, they put two third mans together, or they play two first mans together, or something like that. They talk about team dynamics that way. That's because usually it has to do with like the level of passiveness. Obviously, first man's your aggressive player, so why would you play two extremely aggressive players and one super passive guy? Or why would you put two passive players and have an aggressive guy but never have a guy, some guy who's about to, who's going to shoot? Why have these two passive guys who are sitting way too far back? It's important to have people with certain, who play certain play styles, right? For them to, play the certain position, to play a third man, have a third man, have a second man, have a first man. So it's important to play a position, right? That has to do with your play style. So first man, obviously, who's going to be first man? Take a guess, CDAWG. It's obviously going to be Sambino because he's extremely aggressive. And I don't think I could ever change his play style. Now, second and third. Second, obviously, is the shot taker, or he transitions to first man. He's kind of in between. He knows how to play aggressive. He knows how to play pretty passive. He's just a very smart in the middle player who's waiting for something to happen. He's going to be the guy that plays the ball forward. He's going to be your striker, your shooter, right? And then third man, he's obviously passive, sitting back. We don't like to call him third man anymore. They like to call him priority defender, but I call him third man. But priority defender, obviously, but if there's a choice, he plays third man, obviously, which there's a lot of, places where, it's just up to decision, up to the team's choice who plays where. Anyway, I'm talking too much. I'm rambling too much. But it's up to you. I mean, I can play third or second. We just need to figure out a play style here. Who's playing what? Because I find a lot that we both like to try to play third man or play second man. Because I think that you're going to play third man, or you think I'm going to play third man. I think that's normally it. So we just need to figure out who's going to be the priority defender and who's going to be priority striker or disruptor. I mean, not disruptor. Who's going to be priority striker, and then Sam's going to play first man. And then obviously with all of these, there's subcategories like first man. There's obviously, the aggressive passer is one of them. And then another play style would be like what I was talking about, like a disruptor play style. Like Mark Bite, that's a pro player that plays disruptor very well. He comes in and disrupts the play from behind the play, since he plays so far up. Second man positions, usually it's just striker. And then third man positions, there's obviously, like the hard defender, like he just likes to stay back a lot. And then there's the third man that likes to go for bumps, the utility third man. There's a lot like that, but we just need to figure out who's doing what, who's priority defender, who's priority first man, and who's priority second man. Because I find a lot of positions where we don't know who's priority what. And in a position where it doesn't matter who's, someone just needs to go. Someone just needs to be up. Specifically, when it's in a position where it's just me and you, we need to figure out who's priority what. So that's something we just need to talk about. What do you want to play? Because I can play whichever. I don't care. I like them both. Extra. I brought this up on my YouTube. I was just going to say, if you want to play third man, and I can give you more different players, there's always a good, you can watch a player and see how they play, who plays, like this guy, Extra, he plays passively, so he's a third man. And you can go and look up Extra on YouTube. You can look up Extra POV. Extra POV Rocket League or something like that. And you can watch what decisions he makes as third man and stuff like that. So you see how he commonly plays. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. Now we've talked for however many minutes, 17 minutes, and we haven't even started the replay. That's just some tools. Also, I don't know if I've talked about this so far. Bacchus mod, open Bacchus mod, look around in all of the different sliders and all the different tabs. All of it. There's so many quality of life tools in there that you can use with Bacchus mod. Just use it as much as you can when you're training. I promise you, it's great. But again, pro replays. Look into pro replays. If you're curious, if you want to play second man and you want to see a good second man, I'll recommend somebody. I'll probably recommend someone, like, just depending on how aggressive you want to play second man. I can recommend someone. If you want to play passive, just depending on what position you want to play, just let me know what play style you feel like you want to play and how you play, what your play style is, what position you want to play, and I will find a pro for you that you can kind of look over and see how he plays, see if you like to play like him. Or if you want to play like him, stuff like that, because it's just good. Obviously, we're not going to try to become exactly like a pro team or anything, but I feel like a lot of the times, none of us really know what we're doing, and we're finding each other in a lot of the same positions where we could fix this easily, not only by calling, who's going for it, but just, by figuring out what position we want to play, because positioning is important. It's important to learn to play passive or learn to play aggressive or learn to play this way, because that's what you're going to find as you rank up and you don't play with us, that you're going to have to fall into that position. Anyway, let me continue. And if you have any questions about any of that and you want me to explain it a little bit further, I will absolutely explain it. But let's get into this replay before I ramble on for too long. I'm going to do this one. Another thing real quick about this replay before I begin, I'm going to focus on you, right? Sam is going to make mistakes this match, and I'm going to go into Sam's replay, and I'm gonna teach, I'm gonna do a separate video for Sam, right? And I'm gonna make mistakes, and I'm reviewing my own gameplay throughout this, right? I'm gonna focus on you, right? So if Sam here makes a mistake, if he goes for something, I might have to point it out, and say, oh, well, the goal went in because that wasn't your fault. That was Sam's mistake. But for the most part, you'll see mistakes happen on the field by not you. And I'm not going to talk about them. That's because I don't have time. We're going to focus on you this game. You cheat up. Again, you're a little far back here. That's all I'd say. Flip up. Don't back up for this 12. Stop backing up for this 12. Just flip forward. This is an invisible boost glitch. This boost is obviously here. You know that. Flip up. Put yourself right here. What you've done is by the time this kickoff happens, you're so far back. And look at this guy. He's in front of. He's actually exactly where he should be. But if this ball dies, who's going to get to it first? He is. So just don't go for that back 12. Okay. You're still pretty far back. You're first man here in this position. I'm coming up. Sam's got done kickoff. I'm going to rotate into second man here. Oh no, this is not a good replay. Oh man. We'll do this 0-2 one then. Yeah, Sam. That was the replay where Sam. I didn't know it, but that's the replay where Sam left. That sucks. Okay, let's start again. Okay, CDAWG, half flips for this. See what happens here? I like to go for this 12, right? I like to sometimes go for this 12 and flip mid. Sometimes I go just flip forward and go for this 12. Either one, I like to do both. Just whatever I'm feeling, I guess. It doesn't really matter. You're going to get to the same position. But I like to go for this 12. You should be going for this boost. It's just, again, you haven't gotten used to it yet, I guess. But what you've done here is you've turned. You ran right into me trying to cheat up, I guess, and you didn't half flip or anything. And luckily, Sam wins this kickoff hard, but I have to fly up now, play second man, where I was supposed to be. And CDAWG is in this position all the way back here, turned away from the play with no boost. We're going to play this up. I'm second man. So you're still very far back, right? There's no threat, right? Sam has full possession of this ball. You should be up here, rotating. Ideally, you're making a little bit of a circle, right? You're keeping on your toes. You're moving around in a circle, and that circle continues, and you basically rotate around in a circle. We're not just circling around, obviously. Like if this ball is in this corner, in this side, we're not just going to rotate all around the entire field like this in the middle here, right? If we're rotating, we're going to be keeping our momentum, keeping on our toes, but we're going to be rotating around this general area so that if this guy clears it, tries to clear it over you, you'll be in this general the vicinity. You want to rotate, around this area. Just be going around in a circle so that when Sam, when I go first man here or whatever happens, or when I have to turn back, you can make when you're rotating, you can make a fluid turn into this. But what you've done here is you're coming up last second. You've been so far back this whole time. If you're not rotating in this position, so if this ball flies over you, you're going to have to make an immediate turn, right, and kill all your momentum. You're just playing a little too passively. But there's also no reason because there was no booming clear anyway. So there's no reason. You should be sitting a lot farther forward. Here, this ball is going corner. You should be playing second man. I'm gonna try to go for this. If I see him touching it, I'm just gonna go back. He misses though, but I trusted him, and then I just leave because they're all three in that corner. I don't want to mess with that. Sam's making an odd rotation right now. He should rotate behind us, and we're rotating back at the same time. He should be second man now, right? Because it's been a while since he's been up for offense. He should turn and be second man. I think he's going back for corner. He's just playing too far back. Good on you to go for this though. But let's see here. Yeah, it's a good time to dunk him. I mean, there's a man in front of you. Try to dunk him because if he flicks this, one of us should be there. But unfortunately, Sam is not. It's all right though. Good dunk though. That was great. With this, it's going. It's not going towards our net. There's no immediate shot. I don't know how much boost you have, but there's no immediate shot. You passing it mid, it's already going mid. There's no reason to pass this. So you shouldn't go for this. What you should be doing in this situation is instead of going this way, right, towards the ball in the middle of the play where we might bump you, go this way and take this guy's boost, right? Because this is clearly going to be our ball. If this guy hits it over us, we have another man back, right? In this position, take his boost and then turn this way, go for a bump this way. I could go for a shot here. Look, be aware of where we are, where the other players are on the field. I clearly can go up for this if I want to. I don't know if I am, but I could go up for this. If he beats me, Sam's behind me. But go take their boost. Boost steal here. There's two players right here. You can steal the boost from them. Go for a bump here, right? If you see there's more danger, and you don't, go for this boost, and then instead of going net, there's a guy right here. Try to bump him as he tries to go back to net. or something like that. But don't just go back, and don't go this way, because you're just running in through the middle of the play, right? Sometimes you need to get back quickly, but in this situation, there's so many other places you could go. You cut through the middle of the play. And that's also a sign when I see you, right? In this situation, when I see you, I'm afraid that you're going to go for it again, right? When I see the CDAWGS going, I back off a little bit, because I'm like, oh crap, CDAWGS is going to cut my rotation here. But you're not. You're just, making a very odd rotation. I go for this. Wasn't the best challenge. Sam's second man, luckily, and it's a pretty free ball for him. I could have probably stolen boost there. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I could have stolen boost. I could have absolutely stolen boost. Again, where are we? Oh, we're not in a bad position. Where I would be instead, though, during this play is, I would be more mid here. You could be this far back, but be more mid, right? Because what's easier to save here, okay? What's easier to save? If this ball goes this way, right? If this ball goes this way, into our net. If this guy booms it off the sidewall, right? And it flies over you and into our net, and not in this corner and not in the sidewall, it would be better for you to be here, right? And rotating, in this direction towards the play, right? Because in this position, you're rotating this way, and for you to make a save, there's this big threat area here that they could easily shoot it to. If they shoot it in this general area, no one is covering this area at all, right? But if he shoots it into this corner, then you're in this area, and all you need to do is rotate this way, and then it's in your corner, and you get a free ball maybe, but you're in a better spot there. But what you've done is you're just behind Sam. Sometimes if you have another defender behind you, this positioning is fine, but you don't. Obviously, you're third man. He challenges. What a great challenge by him. He chases this. He doesn't need to chase this. He should go for boost. You're coming up a little slow. There's no threat of an immediate clear. Look at this. I mean, they're like, watch them. This guy's not going to, like, if he clears this, he's not going to be able to power clear this to the net or anything, and I'm coming back. You can play this way farther up. You should be, like, rushing as fast as you can, but you're playing a little too passively here. This guy is over here taking 100. This guy's chasing this. Sam's chasing this for no reason, but that's okay. I'll talk about that later with him. But you should be up here, right? You should be in this area where, you should be farther up somewhere over here where, to the left of where I am. Because when this ball does choose to go around, right? It's going to go into this corner. Why is my thing translucent? What's a highlighter? You could see that, right? When this ball goes around to this corner, you can be there. You can be in this area. You can be right here, right? And you can challenge this. But what you're doing is by putting, yourself all the way over here. By the time you come over here to this position, these guys already have the ball. They already have the 100. They're going to be ready to put it around you. Luckily, I'll be behind you. But, I'm rotating out of this play. The second that I'm probably going to have to rotate in here, right? But I have no boost. Right? You're putting me in a really bad spot here because I see you and I'm going to have to rotate in for this because I know that you're not going to show up to the play in time. I don't know if I am going to rotate in for this. Maybe I don't see you and maybe I trust that you're here, but you should be here. If in the situation, if I go this way, it probably means that I saw you and I know you're too far back and I just need to throw in a challenge because we're playing too passive if we do that. But let's see what happens. Yep, I have to play in. I have no boost right now. I was second man, and I wouldn't have to be playing second man if you were playing a little bit more aggressively. That's all. Here I go up for this. That was just a bad play to go up for. I just didn't think it was going to bounce as high probably or something. Again, we're playing way too passively. Like, you should trust me here, Like, look at where these guys are. This ball is coming towards me. I'm going up the wall. He's not even on the wall yet. Sam is rotating back. You might be last defender here, but you don't have to play last defender at net. You're going to get to this. I'm going to get to this ball first. Trust that I am. Even though that I missed, trust that I'm going to get there first. Right? This is going to bounce up. This is clearly going to be mine. But what you're doing here is Sam is rotating back, and he's going to have to play second man now because you're going all the way back for this 300 and 300. You're going all the way back for this 100 when you could have just grabbed 12s and sat second, and Sam could have rotated around to third or something. But you're just making us play first and second too much. We don't have boost. We don't have any boost. You're just playing way too passively. Way too passively. It's good to play passive. Obviously, passive play is great. There's a position for that. Third man, priority defender. He plays third. He usually plays back. He's their priority. He's the priority defender. He's the passive player. But you don't need to play back this far. There's no threat of a clear. This is clearly going to be my possession. Sam's looking to rotate around you, and he's coming back. He's on the way to play third man. You should play this up. You should be around where you are here. Right there. You should be at least that close. Probably around that close. I wouldn't play that much closer. But anyway, you should be that close. And the second I get this touch, you should play it even further up. But if I miss, you should still sit up because there's no threat. There's no threat of a clear. So you can sit here and wait for their touch and then challenge them as I go back because you'll have a man behind you at that point. Now you're coming up and you're so far back and you choose to challenge this for some reason, right? You're challenging this and you've put yourself in this position where you're way too far back. And even though this is bouncing your direction, this guy is a lot faster than you. Pay attention to him. He's going to beat you to this ball. But he wouldn't have to if you would have just been here, right? You could have stayed here even though I missed this and waited for something like this to happen. If it would have went over you, Sam, booms this, right? But you're playing way too far back. Sam's rotating back to third. And you should be up. You're not, there's no, so far there hasn't been a lot of aggression in your gameplay. You haven't played first or second man very much at all. You go up for this, and maybe you beat him, but you got there in time. But it was just very close. It was very close. It could have been, a clean challenge, a clean beat to the ball. You could have just beat him completely and entirely if you were a little bit farther up. And they are poorly positioned. If you hit it over, if you would have hit it when it landed here, you could have easily gotten it over these guys. This guy's still on the wall. This guy's trying to challenge you, and this guy's too far forward. But when you challenge it, you're just way too far back. You're playing too passively. There's no, we have this, on this field, right? As a threes team, Sam goes, right? This is a common thing. Sam goes, I'll play second or whatever. I'll rotate behind Sam. I'll try to take a shot. If there's one, and you're back here, right? You're back here somewhere. We never, I don't think we ever run into this situation where this ball gets boomed over our heads and goes into our net. That's great. That is absolutely great. That means that we always have our last man far back enough to where he can receive it if it gets cleared over our heads. But the issue with that is you're playing way too far back. Obviously, if it gets boomed over our heads, you're going to have it. That's great. But there's a middle ground. You're playing too far back. We can't maintain aggression. We run out of boost, and then I'm suddenly having to rotate behind Sam because I see that you're playing too passively. We'll see if that gets better, though. It might improve. I pop this here. I don't know if I could have left it for Sam. I probably could have left it for Sam. I don't know how much boost I have in this situation. I could be trying to pop it for Sam, actually. But I'm probably going to play this mid. Sam should be playing up further. You're pretty far back. Again, I have full possession of this ball. Sam should be playing farther up. You should be playing farther up. If he hits it over Sam, then, again, even if you were up here towards this boost, well, not quite up to the boost, but if you were towards this 12 pad here, you should be able to handle this. I kind of passed it to him, but even if he would have boomed this, you would have absolutely had it from this 12 position. He's going to come and he's going to boom this. Here, you can go for this. Looks like he's going to bump you. Very nice. Sam's rotating behind you. I'm rotating back. This is a little bit sloppy rotation here. That's all right. You kind of boom this. Sam needs to turn on this immediately and just apply some pressure, some aggression, but he doesn't. He plays a little too far back, even though he doesn't need to, but that's okay. Again, you should play second here. Don't go for this 100. That's fine. Here, you're going to receive the pass. I'm playing third. I'm sitting net a little too much. Playing a little too passive. I got demo. That was so funny. Watch this. Look. Look at this guy. He's so chasey. It's so funny. Anyway, Sam's going to come in. That is such a great touch, right? Look at this. Look how far back you're playing. Look, if you see him and me, all you have to do is click rear view. I got demoed, but at least, knowing that I got demoed, I'm still going to be just as far back because when I respawn, on my respawn, you both clearly have this ball. These two guys are over here for no reason, right? You're, I don't know whose touch that even was. It's probably yours, but that's fine. I'll talk to Sam about that later. Look how far back you're playing. You should use whatever boost or flip or whatever you have and get up there immediately. Grab some 12s and try to shoot this. You're in a 2v2 scenario, but you have a last man back. But by the time you get up here, right? Luckily this guy, they're playing very stupid. But by the time this ball bounces, they could have easily cleared this around you, which is fine because I'd be back. But, you could have taken a shot here a lot better. A better shot in a better position. Smart players would have easily had that. You miss, mechanical error happens. But just play a little bit more aggressive. That's all. Plays it into his corner. I should challenge this. Sam shouldn't be playing this far up. He should just play a little bit behind me. That way, that when I challenge this, if he flicks it over to me, you're going back to third. That's honestly fine in this position. You're recovering from your shot and everything. You can play third here. But you're going back. Nice turn. That was good. Yeah, this is exactly where you need to be. This is perfect. This is perfect positioning. This is great. You see the plays going into the corner. Sam is a little bit farther back than I'd like him to be because it's going into the corner. He could be a lot farther up, but that's fine. I demo a guy. Now you're playing two. Now we're turning this way for some reason. Just don't, there's no threat. He's not going to clear it your way. He's not clearing it your way yet. If he does clear it your way, you have plenty of time to turn and get back. There's no, but luckily you turn back in. Very good. I'm not going to worry about that too much. I try to bump that guy as well. I'm going to try to go around the play here as best I can, around the wall. Sam, once you see that Sam's about to boom this, and that he makes this touch, you need to book it. That's not really booking it, but you go up. That's fine. You follow, you miss, mechanical error happens. He passes it back to me. That was a great pass. I can go up. Play around. Look, this is great rotation. Look at this. Sam passes back to me. Wants me to play first. Sam rotates behind me to second. He sees you rotating behind to third. Perfect. I know I can't go for this. I know you're back. You're way too far back again. Look. Even if this guy clears this over Sam, right? Even if he clears this over Sam, you could be, even if he hits this over Sam somehow, which he probably isn't because he's literally there for the challenge. Even if he were to boom this to this corner, you could be up around this area. You could be this far up, at least. If he booms this over, if he tries to boom this over you, you should just be able to aerial up, and he's not going to boom it like to the ceiling or anything. If he booms it by the time, he's boomed it up, it's going to drop a little bit. It should be a pretty easy save for you if you play that close. If he booms it to the corner, you say, if you're up this close, you say, great. You should have time to either rotate around to near post this way or rotate to back post or just take it in the corner, something like that. But again, we're way too far back. Way too far back. Same challenges. That's a great challenge. I'm going to rotate around you. I see that you have. Very good. Sam's playing a little too aggressive here. When you see this, I'd start turning immediately. When you see Sam playing a little too aggressive, just be careful. At the very least, just be careful. Maybe sometimes disrupting like this is fine, but it's just not a good situation when there's three guys in the corner and he clearly has no boost. He's just going to end up passing it to one of them like this. And I come up. Well, I don't come up. I shadow. Very good. I thought I was about to make a mistake. I shadow this. Then I push into a corner. It didn't actually mean to make that touch, but it works. It works just as well, actually. Here, you just need to go, right? Once you see that this pops, right? You have so much momentum in this play, right? In this situation, You see that I'm back wall, and I'm also heading this way. So someone's going to be in net here, not just you. If you go up for this, which you're probably going to beat him, this guy's turned backwards. This guy is turned forwards, but he's basically stopped. He has no momentum. If he beats you to this ball, he's just gonna have to get a bad touch because he just has to hit it around you, right? As long as you put yourself in the way of the ball, you're doing good for the team. But you can probably, with the momentum you have, you're moving a lot faster than this guy. You can probably beat him in this scenario if you went quick enough. At the very least, you can block him. And I mean, you can also just tie him. You run it at the same time and just completely block and cancel out his shot. What you do is you just sit here, and this. Oh, whoops. Again, we're playing just a little too passive. We just need to be a little bit more aggressive. That's all. But in this position, they have time to set up a shot. And by the time you go out of net, you've given time for this guy to actually shoot the ball. Luckily, he didn't. But you just took a little too long to get to this play. That's okay. You go. You beat them. Very nice. That was a good beat. Sam and I are both in net. Sam doesn't need to be this far back. I was heading net. He saw me, but that's fine. It's going back wall. What was I doing? Oh, I was gonna go. So here's what I'm doing. If you're confused, I'm waiting for this ball, right, to head into this corner. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to steal this 100 from someone and then take it back the other direction. That's why it seems like I'm all the way over here, by the way, if you're curious. And Sam's third man. This is not a bad place to be. In fact, this is pretty good. I mean, other than the fact that he's, I don't know how, he's turning. That's great. He's turning in the direction of the play. He's a good distance away. I mean, pretty good positioning by Sam. There's no threat of a big clear here. I get demoed. Happens. Sam can go for this. And he does, obviously. He's very aggressive. But in this position, I don't know if this is just an aggression thing. He's just playing aggressive or he's aware. If he had good awareness here, he would know that this guy, the second that this guy turns, that he should be going for this. Because he's going to beat, because it's bouncing in his direction, he's going to beat. He goes here. You see that I'm back. I'm a little too far back, but I mean, I guess I'm grabbing 100, some boost, so I don't really know the situation. I'm not paying attention to me, but I might be a little too far back there. But you are in the right place at the right time. What you should be doing here, you see this guy, right? This is an awareness thing. First time this game, actually, that we're doing player review. Sweet. Here's what you should do. This is not a patient play, right? Because you see him rushing. This guy is backboard. He's going to try to make a save. You should, at the very least, try to test their defense here. So what I want you to do is, this ball is flying in this direction. This ball's going to come down just a little bit more, and then I want you to jump for it immediately. And then boom it over this guy and try to put it in their net. You have no passing opportunity here. It's just a shot opportunity. This ball's going to go over a little bit, go up, and then try to shoot it in. That's all. Okay. Let's get back to it. Let's see what happens, though. Let's see if you shoot it over him. Well, actually, correct me. Yeah, I think I'm wrong here. Yeah, I think it's just moving a little bit too fast for you. Never mind. Forget what I said. It's flying a little too fast. But what I would have done here instead, actually, is block. Try to block. Don't give me, don't make me, have to make a hard save here. You block, very good block. I'm playing up, watching his touch, being kind of careful. Being a little aggressive here. I could be a little bit more careful. Trust that this guy on the wall is going to hit a little harder. But even if he did, he's hitting it straight up the wall into the ceiling, so I should be fine. But he makes a bad play. At this point, you used lots of your boost, right? You don't have 100. You don't have anything. This guy's getting this touch first. The thing you should be doing right now, right, is you should be rotating. Not for the ball. This way. You should first check if there's a 100. You see that there isn't, so you should go this way. Maybe check for a demo. If there's no demo, then turn this way. But what you've done is you're just ball chasing a little bit. Luckily you turned though. It seemed like you were about to go up the wall. Yep. Well, that's ball chasing. And what you've done is, I mean, obviously you put it towards net, but it's a bad shot. You've given them an easy clear. When if you left this in the situation, went for this guy, a bump for this guy on this guy back here, since Sam's playing third, and you know I'm behind you, so you know you at least have two people behind you, and this guy's going, and this guy here is going back to net, and this guy you don't even know where he is, but he's going back to net as well. You could have just left this. This is dropping for me, right? This is going to drop straight down for me. And I could set up a pass or take a shot on these defenders that don't look very ready. They if I shoot this hard enough, none of them are going to be able to get up in time to save this if I boom it. But what you've done here is you've just kind of given it to them when, your teammate was behind you. I'm going to go for this. I'd like to think that I knew Sam wasn't back, but I was already in second. I was already ready for first man position here, so he should probably assume that I'm going to go for something like this. You should be rotating back. Looks like you are very good. Sam shouldn't be playing this far back, but that's all right. I'll talk to him about that later. I'm going to go for this, go for a double. I guess I messed up my aerial play, so I just bail. I'm going to take their corner since I have two people behind me. What happened here? I guess Sam turns around to play up, and then you turn around to play up since you see Sam is back at the same time. Sam, once he sees you turning around, you should just pay attention. The other thing is, though, that you probably should go back to third, mainly because, let's look at this play earlier. See, look, you go up for this. You put yourself in an awkward position. You flew up for that, so you don't have much boost. You grab this 112. You use that 12 to get to the next 12. So don't do that. Please don't do that. There are a lot of players do that where they boost to the next 12. Don't boost to the next 12. There's no rush to this play. No one's clearing. Just grab 12s. Don't use your 12s. You can play slow from time to time. You don't need to always be boosting. Sam here should go up since you don't have a lot of boost. In fact, we can check how much boost. Sam, you have 12. The 12 you just picked up. So you're not going to be, you don't need to play second man right now. Let's see how much boost Sam has. 98. 98 boost. You should go back. You should be, pick up more 12s. Don't, you should see Sam is coming up in this play. He's coming up. Don't turn. You should play behind Sam here. You should be, now here you should actually be a little bit farther back. Maybe around where 100 boost is. Maybe you should have picked up the 100. Maybe you should be picking up this 12 boost here, and that would have put you in a great position. But now it's kind of going sidewall. And I'm trying to get around you as best I can, and you have to make this save. This block that's not going to be good. That's going to set this guy up for a shot. But again, in this position, right? Just rotate behind him somehow, some way. Don't play up, because what you're doing here is you're kind of just cutting him off a little bit, or you're confusing him. Luckily, he just goes and plays it, but he had more boost than you. You're rotating out of playing first man. You should be playing third man right now. Yeah, and you have to do that. He plays at corner. They have full possession again, which is not great. I'm going to go for this ball. Not the best challenge, but I didn't want him to have a free shot on net. You're taking a while to rotate around, mainly because you go for this 100. But I guess that's okay since Sam is rotating around behind me. But that's all right. So that's all right. Sam should go now. He's not positioned well on the goal line, but that's fine. He's going to go up for this. Great. Second you see him boom this and me coming back, you should go up a little bit. I'm rotating back around to net just in case of a clear. Very good. You're positioned well for a 50-50 here. Sam's, again, trying to rotate back around me. That's great rotation. He gets demoed, though. This is going mid, so I try to relieve pressure by playing it forward. I get a really bad touch. In this position, I'm going to rotate back around. I should grab 12s here, but I'm going to grab 100 because I'm a little boost greedy. Sam just respawned. If he booms this around you, right, Sam's here, so you can challenge this. We're both back. So if he booms, this is fine. You could have challenged, but it's okay. Sam, he hands it right to Sam. Plays it forward. Sam hits it off crossbar. Not crossbar, corner. Goes mid. In this situation, what I'm probably thinking is it's going to hit back wall, and it doesn't. But anyway, then I'm going to have to turn here and shadow this guy a little bit. And now I'm in this position where I'm waiting for you to kind of go, because I'm in a position where I'm shadowing and I can go back to net. You go. You miss. It's in our corner though. That's fine. Mechanical errors happen. Sam should come out of net for this. This block. Okay. I take his 100 from him. Very nice boost grab. Sam goes for this aggressively, as he always does. Watch for demos here, because this guy could have easily demoed. Just make sure when you're in third man and you only see 2 opponents in front of you, make sure you're clicking. Just, you don't have to hold it. Just click your little right stick down and just see, do I see Fortnite Lover 8 trying to demo me? What does Sam do here? I'm rotating around you as well. You don't need to play this far back. I would flip up the second you see Sam, going up. Flip up just a little bit farther. But yeah. Anyway, it's in. All right. Next, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. What time? How much time have we been recording? 50 minutes. Okay, let's see if we can fly through those next 2 minutes quickly. CDAWG wins kickoff. That was good. In this position, Sam should call, but so it's not wrong for you to go for this. Sam should have called this. But yeah, good kickoff. You probably wouldn't have had this. I wouldn't have flown for it, by the way. I would have flipped forward or something. Try to block, paid attention to the guy next to you trying to save it. Maybe try to block his clear and then that way put it in. But by flying for it, you're wasting a lot of, you're just wasting a lot of boosts, and it's not getting you to the ball any faster. In fact, you might be going slower doing that. Sam comes, though. Doesn't call it, but he gets it in. 2-0. That's fine. Here I go for kickoff. CDAWG cheats. I don't know why Sam is cheating, but that's fine. I'm not going to comment too much on that since it's your replay. No one goes for kickoff, so I just play it to them, which I guess happens. It sucks, but it happens. I'm going to take our 100 and then rotate around. Watch my rotation here. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to power slide myself into net since I see you both there. No one's in net here, so I'm at least going to try to rotate back post. Watch my rotation here. This is what you should do if you end up rotating this way, right? And if you can rotate around this way so that you're not in the way of the play, you should. But in this situation, I'm just trying to get on the back wall and avoid you guys and not bump you as best as possible. And I'm taking this guy's 100 as well. But watch me rotate into this net. Watch this. Watch my POV. Oh. Whoops. Okay. Watch this. See me power slide, jump, I'm in net. Anyway. Let's continue this. Who plays it out? Who's the one who plays it out? You see him, you're the first man, you play it forward. Good challenge. Sam's going up for this. I don't know if I would go up for that. I'll look at that later, though. He plays it forward. He plays first man. I guess he has more boost than you do, so that's fine. He tries to block this guy. In this position, I'm probably a little bit confused here because you swung out so much, but I probably should have not be up so far, but that's okay. CDAWG plays at mid. Okay. CDAWG rotates around back. I'm going to rotate the second that I see he's not going to get a clear. Sam's going to try to shoot. You're going to try to shoot. Very nice. I'm going to challenge this because I think I can get to the ball faster than him. I might not have tried to challenge. I wouldn't challenge this, though, because you don't have a last defender behind you like I did. Right? He's just going to cut you here. Like, bread and butter ones. It's rolling across the field. He cuts you. Right? Sam's going to have to make a diving save because if he goes to net here, he's pretty dead. I take the 100 so that not Chris guy doesn't steal it first. I'm going to try to rotate around you here, but I accidentally pump you. I should have jumped. That was just bad play by me. A lot of bad plays by me this replay. Again, we're both forward here. I'm going to go back to net, though. We should just call. We should communicate more. We need to work on communication. I'm going to play this forward. I'm probably going to try to follow this. Bad shot. You're up. You should play up farther. Notice these guys. Look, they're all flying up for this. Worst case scenario, this goes backboard. Maybe it hits, if you're farther up, maybe it goes over you. But Sam should be up further too. You guys are both playing way too far back. In this situation, if you were up farther, you could have, you could have hit it and started to play before they even had recovered. Now you're giving them so much time to recover on this. And by the time you play it forward, and also don't do this. Don't do this. When you see a rolling ball like this, right? Here's what you should do. You can fake it, which is a little too complicated because he's going to dive for whatever because he knows you're going to get there first. But I wouldn't do that because I don't think you know how. Try to hit it on this corner in any way possible. Try to hit it to this corner because all you do by hitting it to this back wall here, and you're not going to shoot it here, right? There's no way you're going to get that angle. And there's two guys. There's two guys defending. There's technically three guys in the way. You need to set up a pass here. So if you want to hit it mid, right? What you need to do is you need to chip it. You need to go here and you need to just pop it up over them. Not just, flip into it or slam into it like this. Because by slamming into it like this, all you're doing is it's playing off the back wall and then back mid. And there's three guys here ready to receive that pass. Again, just another useless, it's just a kind of a useless touch that passes the ball to the other team. You come back. Here's a situation, right, where you clearly didn't need to rotate that way. You should rotate behind me, like the direction I'm going. Because when you do this, right, I don't know if this is ball chasing or you're just trying to, when you rotate this way, Sam is like scared to death because now not only does he have to go for this challenge, but he also has to dodge a bump from his own teammate. So just when you rotate, just be mindful. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you need to rotate around, in the direction of the play. Because you're just too far into the side where the play is happening. Sometimes you just need to rotate around that way to get back to net quick. But in this situation, you could have gone around. I mean, I'm here. Just be aware of where I'm at. I'm here to block. I'm here. I'm third man. He challenges. Don't follow this. Play second. Yeah. So you play third. You go around to third. You don't need to go for this 100, right? Because I have clear possession of this ball. You get some 12s. Get some 12s here. Go for this 12. Maybe turn and take that 12. Be behind me. Sam's rotating behind you. I'm going to get a terrible touch on this ball. But at least, you'd be a little bit farther up. If he hits this, if you were a little farther up, maybe you beat this guy to this ball, right? But by playing, going all the way back here, and playing this like someone's going to clear it over me, when I have clear possession, all you're doing is you're just getting, we're not going to have any offensive pressure this game if we keep playing so passively. And luckily I'm there to block, but it's not a great block. Sam, not in a great position, but this position never would have happened if you would have been playing a little bit farther up, right? Because if you would have been playing a little farther up, you tie, maybe you beat this guy. Sam is in a good position here, right? He shouldn't have to be playing net here because in this scenario, he should know that we have full possession of the ball. I don't need to go to net, and then he should be watching the other players and he should say, oh, CDAWGS should, he should be right behind him. So he should have this, but you should just be a little bit farther up. That's all. Okay, interesting. Here you turn back to bail. You should know Sam has this. You're just about to bump him, right? He should have this. You should at least trust that he has this. Because all you're doing again, you're risking bumping him. And I don't know if he had that or you hit that or he hit that, but he should have at least had that. If he doesn't get that, then that's his fault, right? Trust your teammate, though. Interesting. It doesn't look... I don't know if you were trying to bump him or if you just weren't aware. You go for this. Not a bad play to go for, since obviously he's going to boom it on an open, on a net where it's just me. So that was good to go for. Sam hits it around him so he doesn't get a free, so he doesn't get a pass. I don't know if he was intending that. That's fine. Sam tries to go for this again. I'm still in net. You rotate back around me so that I can go. He hits around me. I leave. You go. Very nice. Sam is behind you. He's playing a little too close, but he sees you going up, so he slows down. Very nice. Here you're just trying to get around players and beat them. Very good play. Look at this. Very good play by you. That was extremely good. You go up, you get it past these two guys, you follow it, you see this, you pop it. Good pop. And you jumped right before you got demoed too, which is probably not intentional, but it all worked out. And this gives a good shot for Sam. Sam just doesn't, he's a little too far forward. Also, this guy blocks and this guy clears, but Sam wasn't in a bad position. Maybe he should have been a little tiny bit farther back. That's fine. I'm here. There's no immediate clear, so I can play third man this close if I want. I can still play third man this close. I'm grabbing 100 from this guy. I'm going to try to challenge this guy on the wall. Where's CDAWG? You're all the way back here again, right? Like, in this play, right? Like, when you see this, you should see that, from this angle, right? It's hard to see, Let's see. CDAWG he's got all eyes on net, so I can't even check. Anyway, but let's say CDAWG was looking in this direction, though. Let's just say that this was his cam. This is ball cam. Let's just say that this is ball cam, right? In this position, I have to look down a little bit, unfortunate. In this position, he's got ball cam on. He's looking towards the ball. He can see that this guy is not relevant to this play. He trusts his friend here, trusts that this guy is going to hit it. His friend trusts that he's going to hit it. Even if he was right here on the wall, all he can do is hit it straight up. In this position, if he hits this, he's hitting back towards his net. So there's no threat of a clear here, right? There's no threat of a clear. You just pay attention, be aware, have your ball cam on. These guys, none of these guys, even if these guys go up for it, it's going to go off the sidewall. Sam's rotating behind you. I'm about to go for this, right? You don't need to be so far back. Sam's rotating to third man. You should be farther up. What happens if I beat this guy, right? What happens if I beat this guy right now and I don't, and I did choose to go, or what happens if, I do this exact play right and I boom it mid, for a pass. I try to boom it over his crossbar so that you can finish it. You're so far back. Sam's there, though. Plays it to me. I tried to go for a redirect. I bailed immediately because I realized I couldn't do it. Sam sees that I can't, and he plays aggressively so that we don't lose offensive pressure, and the net's looking pretty open, and it almost rolls in. It's fine. This is playing corner. What you should be doing right now is you should pay attention to where these guys are, make a beeline for this challenge. Since it's about to pop in this corner, I'm going to play behind you. I'm going to have to play around you, though. Since you swung out, I can turn on this, but I didn't turn. Now I can turn and play it forward. He plays it up and over. I don't know why I'm going for that. We only have 6 seconds left. That's probably why, actually. I go for this 7 seconds left. It doesn't matter. I put it over him, and Sam goes for it. No, what happens here really doesn't matter. It's 2-0 with 4 seconds left, but that's basically the replay. I hope that helped. I'm not really as good at reviewing 3v3 play, but some common themes that I've kind of noticed, especially in your 3s replays. It's not as much throwing away our possession, obviously, because a lot of times it is a game of just booming it and stuff, but some common things I find are clearly as a group we're having communication errors. We need to communicate. Here's some things that we need to communicate, right? Number 1, where we are. Where are we? You need to say things like, if you're, here's some things. Let me just list some. Here's some communication things. Taking back boost, taking back corner. Taking mid boost, taking their boost. I'm going up for this. I have blocking, passing. I'm behind you. Things like that. Say I'm second, I'm first, I'm third. Call out your position. Call out these things. We don't communicate enough. And when sometimes I feel like when I'm talking, I'm commonly saying things like, taking their back or taking their back boost or stuff like that. I feel like I do that. And a lot of the times I feel like it's radio silence. Specifically last night, I felt like I was kind of the only one talking about where I was and who was, and I was kind of telling you guys what to do since you weren't communicating. Communicate where you're going, communicate for yourselves. Another thing we can communicate and how much boost we have. Say things like, I have 12, I have 100, I have none. And then that will influence our decisions, right? Because if you have no boost and I'm in net and you're in front of me, I should just go, and challenge since you have no boost, right? Or something like that. Just communicate how much boost you have. Let's just work on these two things for now, though, right? Boost and where we are. You should say things like, I'm back, I have 12, or I'm going up, I have 48, something like that. Just look over, glance over, look how much boost you have, tell it where you are, and that really, really, really helps. Also, another thing you should explain to yourself is what you're doing, right? Just say things like, I'm going to make this challenge, because I feel like a lot of times when you communicate it to yourself, sometimes it stops some of that hesitation. You say, and it kind of makes sense why it helps you make decisions, just talking about it and letting your team hear your decisions. Communication is a big thing that we need to work on. But yeah, you're just playing a little too passively a lot of the time, and you commonly, Sam's playing so aggressive, setting up all these challenges. But a lot of the times you'll find that CDAWG's playing a little too far back, and me and Sam are having to rotate in and out in first and second man positions, and we're running out of boost. And by the time CDAWG's already there, they've already recovered and they're in position to save and clear. So just make sure that you're playing up a little bit farther. Watch what the players are doing. There's a lot of the times we're not having situations where it's being boomed over their net. So there's no threat of that. There's no reason to play so far back. It doesn't mean play too far forward, but you can play a lot farther up, reasonably. There's no threat of a clear especially. That way you can rotate in immediately and challenge the guy before they start setting up a play towards their net. That's all I would say for you, man. There's some other things you can take away, but I'm not going to talk for much longer because this video is getting really long. But anyway, man, hope this helped. I know I'm not as good at 3v3 stuff because there's a lot more to keep in mind, but hopefully this helped a little bit. And there's clearly something wrong with our rotations. I'm going to check Sam's and my own, and be thinking about some of the stuff I talked about in this video, like positioning, what position you want to play, and obviously implementing all this in your gameplay as best you can. Anyway, though, that's about all.